Aloha friends, welcome back to my channel. This is Shamancy. I just wanted to tap in on some of the things that are coming through. There is a whole lot happening in the collective and there's some fear that's rising up. So I am going to post a little fear clearing, so look out for that on my page. I just wanted to tap in and see what messages wanted to come through for the collective at this time. And they're saying, be present, bring yourself back into the present and shine your light. It's time for us to stand up. That's literally why I'm standing up during this video. I'm like, okay, Spirit, this is different. And shine. Let people, bring people into our vibration instead of dropping into theirs. So a couple of things that happened to me recently. I was out in public spaces and the energy is so heightened right now. And those that have not wanted to deal with whatever they're going through, or those who have been trying to tap out and not feel the feelings, or feel like they can just completely let them go, they are feeling a lot coming up right now. And it's coming out in this energy of just purging it out in random spaces and places. I was telling a good friend of mine that I saw like the most normal looking person, dressed well, looked really nice, nicely put together, and just out of nowhere, cursing someone out, screaming, turning into this very aggressive type energy. And I asked where it was coming from, and it's all of their stuff that's coming up that they've been avoiding, right? So this is happening along the collective throughout so many different spaces and places. And so in that space that I was in, I just sent love and compassion for them to be able to understand how to purge correctly, how to get that energy out of you. Maybe you do need to punch a pillow. Maybe you do need to scream. Maybe you do need to go to a rage room or break something. But get that energy out so that you don't have to take it out on random strangers, right? So you're not standing in line getting upset because the person in front of you is taking their time, and also time, slowing down. Slow down. That's why they're saying be present. Bring yourself back into the present moment, because there's this energy of the snail that's coming through. And when I tapped into the energy of the snail, the energy that I got from them was move with intention, right? As we continue to move forward, as we move into these higher timelines, it's all about co-creating that next present moment for ourselves, right? So being in the present, co-creating the next present moment. And we do that through intention and through slowing things down and allowing ourselves to rest. And I'll tell you, last week I was in this space of rest, and I just decided not to tap out, not to scroll. If I was too tired to cook, I was too tired to watch a movie, is what I was telling myself, right? If you're too tired to get up and do something, you need to also be too tired to focus on a blue screen. And so I got myself in this energy where I'm like, okay, if I'm too tired to do this, I'm just going to lay down. I'm going to close my eyes and I'm going to let myself go into a deep rest. And if I had trouble going into a deep rest, I would use an NSDR. You can find plenty of those on YouTube. It is a form of yoga nidra, and it helps you get into a deep rest very quickly. It can be like 10 or 20 minutes, and you will feel like you've had the most amazing power nap. But in that space, I let myself rest. And what ended up happening most of the time, and I'm blessed to be able to be in this space to do this, but what ended up happening for me is I went into deep rest, and I did it for an entire week. And this week I have been action forward. I have get things done, being out in spaces and places with other people and staying in my light. Now, staying in our light is very important because the old paradigm, the shift from the old to the new, right? The old energy is somebody's having a bad day, they might take it out on you, and that energy transfers to you, and now you're having a horrible day and you take on that energy. Or someone is running late to work and they cut you off in traffic and it makes you mad, and now you're stuck in that energy and everything in your day spirals from that energy. And that is old paradigm. That is what we are shifting through, what we are purging. And so in this new earth space, it is bringing in your light. If someone cuts you off, just shine light, shine your light, be in your power. If somebody's in a really bad mood and normally you wouldn't want to be around them, this happened to me recently. And normally I would go away, not try to be around them, not try kind of walk on eggshells or make sure everything's okay, keep my distance. This time it was no, be right in front of them, shine your light, be in your energy, be happy, and pull them into those higher vibrations. This is what we're here for, to help each other rise. This ascension that's happening is not just happening for those of us that have been doing the work for years, for those of us that are light workers, for those of us that came back to help. This ascension is happening for everybody in every vibration. Also, they are wanting me to say this, that we don't have to tap into those lower vibrations and dimensions. So if we go, this happened to me earlier today, I was in a public space and I felt this energy of just this shady, kind of low vibe type energy. I couldn't quite figure out what it was. And I watched for a moment to make sure I was safe, right? Okay, I was safe. My surroundings were safe. And then I had this epiphany where I was like, no, this isn't my vibration. I don't need to tap into this. I can be here and in my light and have no fear of what's happening around me because I know that I'm okay. And that I'm even going to go as far as to share with you what happened when I left this place. I was driving. I stopped at a stop sign, looked both ways. There were no cars coming. I started to drive through this intersection and this car came out of nowhere, just flying out of the corner. And in that moment, my hand went up and this force of energy inside of me just said, stop. They slammed on their brakes, they honked their horn, and my driver's side seat was looking directly into the front of their vehicle. They would have came right into me and T-boned me had they kept going. And my energy was like, nope, hold up. This is not happening, right? I'm in this higher vibration. I'm not in those lower dimensions. And even though I am multidimensional and I can go in and out of spaces, and I often do to help other people, I can also be in my light. I can stay in my light. I can stay in my power, and I can free myself of all fear. So the same for you. They're having me create this so that you can tap into that as well. Okay, any last messages? I felt like this was going to be short and sweet. Yes, so stay in your light, be in your power, play with the dimensions, right? If you're going through, I've shared this story before, maybe you heard it, maybe you haven't, but I was driving through a neighborhood that usually is really quiet and sweet and buzzing, surfer-like energy, and this one time that I was driving through it, it was chaos. There were people screaming, there were people running out into the street, cussing each other out, flipping each other off. It was crazy. And in that moment, I realized that I was in a lower dimension, and I took my phone and I put on a frequency to raise my vibration, and instantly I shifted out of that vibration, y'all. So these dimensions are stacked, right? And we as multidimensional beings can go in and out of these different dimensions, and we can pull ourselves out at any time. So Be in your light, be in your power, stand in your truth. And if you're being guided to take a different route, if you're being detoured for some reason, just trust that it's happening divinely, right? This happened to me the other day. I was out, I was guided to go into this parking lot and sit in this parking lot. I had no idea why I was there. I just knew I needed to be there. And within minutes, there were two fire trucks and 3 ambulances that came in, a police officer, a truck that looked like it had scraped up against something. There was so much energy in this space. And I was like, okay, this is why I'm here, to stand in my light, to shine and help whoever needs help in this space, and to disseminate all the fear, right? 3 ambulances, 2 fire trucks, and it wasn't anything crazy like you would think with that amount of personnel that was showing up, that it would have been like this huge, like 15 car pileup or whatever, but it was none of that. It was one truck that looked like it maybe scraped up against something or hit something. None of the firemen stayed around. None of the paramedics stayed around. The cop maybe wrote a ticket. I don't even think I saw a ticket being issued. The person got back in their vehicle and drove off. I was there so that there wouldn't be fears spread through the collective. I was there so that whoever was going through something in that space, my energy could help shift them into the higher dimensions. I realized that. So if you're being redirected or detoured, know that it's happening divinely. And it may be saving you too from any kind of drama or chaos that you don't need to be a part of, right? In those lower dimensions, maybe you don't need to go that route because that route feels really low vibe right now. So trust, connect with your higher self, tap into your intuition. And if you want to tap into your intuition more, check out my silent and telepathic readings on my YouTube channel right here to connect and get more from your highest self and your guides. All right. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Until next time. Adios.